this word here. In this exercise, we will learn how to add two decimal number. If you can look at what we have today, it's the same like the example we had before. The last video we work on how to subtract the decimal number, and today we're going to add those two numbers. We're going to combine two positive numbers together to get the result. And the only thing you learn here is a decimal after the point on the right side. That's make it different, because when you add 2 and this one became 10, it moved to the left side. And that's the whole point for the exercise, how this affects the result. The decimal after the point or decimal number here, how this affect the end result. And that's what we are trying to do here. We're going to use the same technique we did last time, where we put the positive number under the we put the positive on the top and then the negative on the top. But the difference still here, because the one on the right side, 117, is less than 257. So we're still going to use the same thing. The only thing is going to change is a sign for the positive. We still have 257 point, which is decimal on the left, on the right side, 315, plus 1 and 1, which is 117, you have 4. We learned also when we was using a subtraction that we line up this number to the right. This one will be a 7 and then 8. And because 350 is a greater than 78, what we're going to do here, we're going to put a 0 that can line up with number 5. Now we can combine this number. When you add 5 to 0, it's still 5. So we're going to end up with 5. The same thing. 1 plus 8, we're going to end up with 9. So it'll be 95. And what we're going to learn here from here, when we combine 3 with 7, it becomes a 0. And we know that. This one, it became 1. It's 10, but it became 1 here. So you're going to end up with 0 right here, because it became 10, and you have a decimal point here. So you have 1, and this one it became, so you have 1 plus 7, it became 8. 8 plus 7, you have 15. So you have 5. So 1 plus, so you're going to carry 1 from here, it becomes 6 and 1. So 6 times 1 is 7. You have 2 plus 1 is 3. So our answer should be 375.095. And that's what we're looking for. So in today's video, you learn how to combine or to adding a two decimal number, and that's what you get. One thing we learned here, when we have 10, it moved to the left side, it became 1. And that's the only thing we're trying to do here, to see when you subtract or you borrow. If you go back when in our subtraction example, we have the same number. But what we done, we used to borrow a number here. We used to borrow a number to come here. But in this one, we was adding, we add to the right side, to the left side, I'm sorry. You see the difference right now? So we move the number to increase a left side. But on subtraction, we borrow, or we move a number from the left to the right side in order to get a right number. So you can balance and see, and you're going to see. Another thing you should learn, when you have two positive numbers, let's say 2, 3, 5, the answer always should be a positive. So in this case, we have 8. If you're adding it 2 negative, it's always negative. And it's not a case when you use a multiplication. If you trying to say minus 3 times minus 5, it's a different story. It becomes 15. And sometimes that's what confuses people when they. So you need to be careful. You have to remember what you're doing. Are you doing a multiplication, or are you doing a subtraction, or you adding? And always the difference is, if you have 1 is a negative and 1 is a positive. If 1 is positive, you look for a greater. If it's negative, it's a greater than positive. And result always will be a positive. And obviously, if the one is the positive is a greater than negative. But that's how you deal with it. Next time we will do a multiplication for a decimal number, and so we can see what result you can get. Thank you.